What is up, guys? It is the Citrus Patty here today, and today I'm coming at you with a review for Episode 2 of Season 2 of Haikyuu. Let's do this. Alright, so after that short poem, getting that out of the way, we are here with the review for the second episode, and it actually is not that much time between the first and second because I was late on the first episode. I forgot it even came out. So now all the episodes, as long as I'm home on Saturday and I can do a video, it will be on Saturday. So let's get into it. This is another setup episode. Weird that it's in a second season of a show you get like so much setup, because a lot of times, sometimes, like whenever there's a second season, there'll be like a cliffhanger at the end of the first, and then it will just continue on. Whereas with Haikyuu, there was like, it's almost like an entire arc was in the first 25 episodes, so it was like a beginning, a middle, and an end, and then there was like kind of like the falling action at the last episode, and now we're kind of building up into another arc. So if there is like a third season, which I assume there might be, I'm not sure how much longer Haikyuu is going to go on, but I assume there will be like arcs. Like they'll do a tournament, they'll win, they'll do a tournament, they'll lose, whatever they do. But that's the general, that's my general understanding of what's going to go on. So, was this episode good? I'd say that it was okay. It was not like super good. It was another another setup episode introducing a couple of the new characters, such as the, oh god, I can't even remember her name. Her name is Yachi. I looked it up online, don't you guys worry. Anyway, so Yachi was introduced in this episode, and basically she actually does some tutoring for Kageyama and Hinata. Now, a couple of the people on the volleyball team basically are worried about not being able to pass the test or whatever to get onto the school trip to Tokyo, which is a bit of a worriment, sort of, but we know the main characters, they're gonna make it there, one way or another. But, you know, you gotta have suspense. So, you know, they're going through, like, all these, you know, phases of, like, all the crazy faces and whatnot, because, you know, they don't want to fail, but, each one of them does something different. They start, studying with Tsukishima or whatever, but he's, like, you know, that guy that just doesn't really like Kageyama or Hinata, so he doesn't really help them that much, and then they end up studying more with Yachi than anybody else. She's introduced to the team. We kind of get introduced to some of the team members again, sort of, a little bit. Some of the side members of the volleyball team are actually, like, more prominent, or they say their names a lot more, like Enershida, or whatever his name is. I never knew that guy, but he was in the show last season, but you just never really heard of him. He was like one of those people that wasn't on the main roster, so you just didn't really care about him, or the show didn't care about him either. You didn't, and the show didn't. So, in this episode, it's basically just them running around trying to figure out how they're going to study for these exams, and then at the very end of the episode, there is kind of an indication that in the episode 3 will be a volleyball match of some sort. So they found a high school to play against, and they will be playing against them next episode. Now, this episode, there's not really much to talk about. That's the thing like, here, but I want to talk about the series as a whole, I think, instead of just this episode. So, what I believe that happens from here on out, episode 3 is probably up to the place where I read maybe episode 4 or something. I remember getting to a part where there was like some Russian player, so whenever you see a Russian player in the anime, heard it from me first, okay? Heard it from me. And, I don't know if that's going to come up in the game that's a right next episode, or whether that's down the line a little bit, but I don't think I read too much of the manga to get that much ahead. So, my idea is that since there are a couple of first years on the team, there's some second years and there's some third years, they're going to go into the tournament and either win at the end of the year, like win before the third years graduate, or possibly they don't win and they lose, and it's kind of like, but they get close to getting like a win. Like they don't win the tournament, but they get close to it, and it's kind of like a good send off. You know, they gave it their all or whatever, and the third years would have been happy with the the effort that they gave. Because Asahi and Daichi, and there's probably a couple other ones I'm just not thinking about. The setter that is not Kageyama, I think he's a third year. I'm not sure though. Or Suno, is his name Suga? I think his name is Suga or something. But, all these people that are going to graduate after this year, and also the manager, that's why they got Yachi in on the deal, because she has to be the new manager for the team. And obviously, since the boys volleyball team, the only female characters you have in the show are, like, ones that are managers or whatever, so, whatever. But, at the end of the day, I think that the rest of this arc and the rest of the season is going to be them basically trying to win a tournament and trying to have a good send-off for the third years. And I think that the series will probably continue. I'm not sure, though. I'm not sure where the manga's at. So, I don't know if they'll continue throughout the second and the third year of Hinata and Kageyama, but it'll be interesting to see how it all turns out, and I'll be back on episode 3 to really give some maybe more in-depth analysis. This isn't like a really in-depth show, so maybe I'll never need to do one of those. But at the end of the day, guys, it was a good episode. If you want to check it out, you should. Kind of need to if you're a fan of the show, so check it out whenever you can get the chance to, and until next time, I'll be back.